Today we're going to talk a little bit about the psychology of color. Our eyes see color and our brains react to color. Now this is general. It doesn't mean that it's worldwide. It definitely replies and sort of works with your own brain and your own perceptions and your own culture. So we talked about last time how orange and green and purple, they make the Halloween colors in the United States, but that doesn't necessarily translate to another country or a different culture. So sometimes the colors that we associate with things are not necessarily what somebody else would think. We also have to consider, as I said before, that some people perceive color differently, and so the way that you perceive it can never be known. So there's a lot of unknowns about color theory and color psychology, but it's still kind of fun to get into. If you're interested in more, the activity that you would look at is the color theory notes and color psychology and color meaning. So if you're interested in like kind of doing a deep dive and learning more about this, that's the activity for you, and it's 2 activities. Okay, so let's jump into the colors. The first color we have is red. According to this infographic, if we look at it, red means passionate and active and exciting and bold and energy. So think about it for a second. Close your eyes. What color is the word sail? If in your mind the word sail became red, that's because in our culture, red means action. It means doing something. It means get your body moving. All right. A really fun thing about red is that it can also mean lust, but it can also mean passion, but it can also mean anger and rage. Red can share both of those dynamic and opposite sorts of feelings. And I think that that's really interesting because when we look at red, it depends on the context. Are we so angry that we're seeing red? Or does a red represent the passion and the love? And those are 2 opposite sort of feelings. So red kind of encompasses everything. There's 2 little tidbits that I do know that we absolutely scientifically know. Oh wait, 3 tidbits. The first thing is, if you ask straight heterosexual men to take a look at pictures of women, and the women are dressed in a red dress, and the women are dressed in a white dress, the men will automatically choose the woman in the red dress as more attractive. If you're interested in looking this science up, I can link you to the article that takes you to it, which I find really interesting, right? The second little tidbit that I find scientifically to be pretty interesting, I might have told you before, is that if you drink something out of a red cup instead of a blue cup, it'll taste more sweet. Your brain takes red and translates it into sweet. And so you will get that the whatever you're eating or drinking tastes a little bit sweeter if it comes from a red vessel. The third thing is that red increases your heart rate and ups your blood pressure. So whether you think that that's hooey or not, that's what the science shows. So when you think of a hospital or you think of a calming area, you don't necessarily think of reds. You think of cool colors. So red can have this very, very dynamic and energizing sort of situation. So let's say that you wake up in the morning and you're feeling kind of slow. If you can surround yourself with red, it might help you wake up a little bit. Some of our companies that use red to their advantage are Coca-Cola and Target. Think about Target for a second because we'll talk about blues in just a second. Kellogg's, Nintendo, McDonald's, and all of your fast food restaurants use the color red. So Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out, McDonald's, Del Taco, Five Guys, I don't know. There's like a whole bunch, and they all use red. How crazy is that? Okay, so let's move on to pink. In our culture, pink means love and calm and feminine, right? A lot of people think, oh, well, pink is just so feminine. But did you know that it's only been feminine for about 100 years? We didn't used to think of pink as a feminine color. So when we think about that and we kind of look at the companies that are using these pink colors, we've got Barbie and Cosmopolitan and Victoria's Secret, and they've all kind of tapped into this idea that pink is feminine. But that's only been something that we've done in fairly recent times. Like, it hasn't always been associated with girls. Have you ever looked at the toy section? The toy section is always divided into boys and girls, which I think is kind of sad. And pink is always for girls and blue is always for boys, and I guess that's just the way that it is. Purple has also been feminized, and so you can kind of see like the Hallmark Channel or things like that can also be considered like kind of feminine, but it's deep, it's creative, it's original, it's magical, it's fantasy. So why purple meaning that? Why do we think that when we see the color purple? My guess is that it originated with the royalty. Royalty were the only people that were able to wear purple because it cost so much to make. And so by making purple something that was kind of exotic and rare, only rich people and only fantasy kind of situations would be able to have purple. And so that's our cultural connection to it. If you think of the color navy, which is darker than blue, it's just like a shade of blue, you're looking for loyalty, sincerity, authority, peace and control, and success. So think about all of those really strong words and then look at the companies that would like you to have a little bit of faith in them. You've got Facebook, you've got Twitter. You also have a lot of banks like JP Morgan that'll also use the color navy. In addition, blue and navy, you can think about Walmart. Walmart is going to be the opposite of red, all right? And that kind of plays in. And so you can, when you think of red and you think of blue, you've got these trustworthy colors, all right? And so you can kind of compare those. So if we think about it, if we're talking about reds and blues, you've got Coke and you've got Pepsi. You've got Target and you've got Walmart. In our political system, you've got Republicans and Democrats. And so red and blue often play against each other. So kind of notice how that shows up a lot in your life and kind of check it out and see how many brands are trying to get you to do something or feel something using the colors that they have. If you've ever noticed, presidents wear navy a lot because loyalty, sincere, authority, all of those colors culturally kind of play into that. Green, if we think about the color green, we have balance and growth and restoration and sanctuary. I always think of like companies that, want you to believe that they're eco-friendly. So if we take a look at BP, BP is a big giant gas company and they've chosen green. Why do you think a gas company would want you to think that they were green? Are gas companies green? I don't know. They sure spill a lot of oil, don't they? The other reason that you might want to use green is green also signifies money. So, the Starbucks logo is green. When you carry a mug or, a cup with a Starbucks label on it, think about it. It's kind of like you're saying, I have disposable income to be able to spend on this coffee. Range Rover is also green. Monster, the energy drink is also green. And my guess is that they chose green because monsters are sometimes green, but it also is like restoration and like, oh, if I just drink this Monster, I'm going to feel so much better. Green's kind of a calm color though, so take a look and kind of see like, oh, calm and refreshing, and green's pretty interesting too. So blue is, this is kind of like a lighter blue, but it's spirit and perspective and content and calm. So like this kind of blue just kind of like means like a solid kind of blue color. And it's been proven that the majority of males prefer the color blue. So if you take a look at some of the companies that are still using blue, you have Twitter and Skype, and I don't think Blu-ray really counts anymore, but whatever, and Internet Explorer, and once again, this IBM and like these kind of like really solid kind of companies that want you to have a lot of trust in them. All right, orange means instinct and warmth and optimism. So when we take a look at these kind of colors like orange, I don't know, orange can go both ways though, because not very many people think, oof, orange is my favorite color, right? Orange can also be a warning color where you're like, oh, watch out. So think of like orange cones, or when you're out and you see a hunter in like their orange outfits so that they, are safe. Orange colors generally have you think about fun and freedom and enjoyment. So kind of think about that in terms of those kind of colors. There's a couple that we didn't name. Yellow's not on here. Yellow is usually associated with cheerfulness, although you probably don't really want yellow rooms or to wear yellow clothes. It's been proven that yellow can make babies cry. I did an experiment with my baby, and I put my baby in a yellow outfit and kind of just watched her mood for the day, and she didn't have a very good day. So think about that before you decide to use yellow for your child. White usually generates the idea of purity and cleanliness. Black usually, for a lot of people, their first reaction is negative, like dark and brooding and moody. But if you think about it, black can also mean classy and rich and exclusive. And the color brown, if some people usually think of the color brown as like poop or mud or something like that, but if you really think about it, brown is grounding and kind of an interesting color to show nature and show your connection with the earth. And so there's all these different things that you can think about when it comes to color. I'm going to tell you a story about my husband and how I met him for the first time. So we met online before it was really online dating was a thing, and so we had never seen each other. So on our first date, I had to carefully choose my colors and what I was going to wear. So I picked out a blue outfit because, as you know, blue is oftentimes a male's favorite color. Might have been his favorite color. I don't really know, but I was just planning on that it very was likely one of his favorite colors, and that what I wanted to show to him was that I was in control, and that I was sincere, and that I was responsible and successful and calm. And I really wanted to kind of just push that idea that like I wasn't like some crazy girl, like I really was this like very smart kind of person. So blue was one of my color choices for my outfit. And then on the other side, I had brown. And normally when you think brown, you're like, well, why would you dress in brown? That sounds absolutely crazy. But what you would need to know about my husband is that he loves coffee. And he really enjoys coffee. And he associates brown with really good things, because for him it means stability and warmness and this idea of hominess and trust. And so I had a brown outfit kind of picked out. So which one did I choose? Did I choose blue or did I choose brown? I chose brown. I also wanted him to know that I wasn't your average kind of kid. Like, I just was not your regular sort of girl. I wasn't going to wear red, I'll tell you that. But I decided to wear brown because I knew he had his connection with coffee, and I knew that brown meant grounded, and that it was just slightly a little bit odd, so that it would give me a leg up on kind of maybe him thinking that I was a pretty good catch. But it seemed to work, because after that first date, we were engaged in a month, and we were married within a year, and we've been married for 16 years. So never underestimate the power of color.